We're talking about finding a new level of energy, a new level of output. I have done this about 15 times in my career, and I will tell you right now from experience, there is always another level. You can always go deeper. You can always go further. So we're going to share a topic that I have developed called the 90-day burn. This is going to sound insane, but if you do this, you can skip a decade further in your career in a very short period of time. So I'm going to share that method. On the channel with me is Caleb Hommel. Caleb Hommel is young. He started learning at 18. At 19, started building his multifamily portfolio, got to 28 units. Today, he is 20 years old with 53 multifamily units, his own company, his own employees. This guy is a freak of nature. He is the best person to have on this channel for how to find another level. So without further ado, welcome back to the channel. I'm Christian Osgood. This is Caleb Hommel. Let's go! Caleb, I want to start with your age. You're 20 years old. How many hours a day are you putting into your company? Because you own a sales company that is thriving. I won't share your numbers on this channel, but you've shared your numbers with me, and they're insane. You have a sales company that's going off. It's called Dago Sales. Anyone who has a course, I'm telling you, this is the best sales team that exists. If you have a social media platform of any type, this guy's going to boost your sales. So you run your sales company. In the meantime, you just casually out of state picked up 53 multifamily units. No one does that. How much time does it take you per day to do this?
Gosh, we're talking about finding another level. I'm still hitting it right now. I mean, I wake up in the morning to read the Bible and work all day till about 6, 7 o'clock, go play pickleball, come home, work more. So when you talk about finding a new level, I've found that since I had started. When I was just starting, it was like called multifamily owners till about 4 o'clock. That didn't work the rest of the night. It's like I've since added new levels every single time. Feels like week at this point. It's just digging deeper. It's just the deeper you dig your well, the deeper you get to go next time. It's about that simple.
Well, you said something really important. Like this episode is 100% focused on the activity that's going to drive your success. But you do have to set aside time for the things that are important. You have spiritual health,
or you will hate your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love that you read your Bible. I do the same thing. Like you get up, you read your Bible. We actually talk about this all the time offline, but that is something that's very important to both of us equally. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get super deep into religion, but I'll give you one guess what religion we are because my name's Christian. That being said, you need that time. Set that aside, keep that sacred. That is your time. Physical activity. I have found that 30 minutes of lifting to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of lifting, a few core lifts that always work their way into my schedule. I think I've shared them on Instagram a couple times, and doing any sport with other people of some kind is what you need in your life, no matter how hard you're working. If you can keep those things going, you feed the spiritual side of yourself every day, every single day. And you get some physical activity every day and every week, at least once a week. You're playing a sport with other human beings.
Oh, I'm getting you to do it more now, though. You're getting on it more.
Fact. I am playing more pickleball. You keep those things in balance, you can do just about anything. Let's talk about the energy level, though, and the grind when you're working. So we've taken care of our spiritual. We have our physical on lockdown. When you are working, what are you doing to find a new level? Like, what keeps you motivated at 20 years old to keep working while your friends are out surfing?
Are we talking about the mental side, or how are we approaching this? Because there's a few things I've actually implemented recently to get to a new level.
Let's talk about the mindset, then let's talk about the technical. Mindset, what is different about Caleb?
Than regular 20-year-olds?
Yeah, we're just normal people. I don't know people who work as hard as you. There's like 5 of them in my network who can do that. You need to surround yourself with those people, but they're hard to find. So what makes you one of those people? What is it mentally about you that makes you competitive and have that drive where you can work when you don't have to?
Yeah, first thing is I'm a competitive son of a bitch. Sorry, working on the swearing. That's number one. 2, it's kind of just what I want to build. It's like I'm not going to get there by being average. Like if you work a normal person's work day and do the normal things and think the same way as them and utilize your time the same, you're just not going to end up like them. If you want to be the 1% of the 1%, you just can't act like the 99% of the 99%. You just got to change how you're doing things each and every single day.
100% true. 100% true. Now, where did you get that competitive advantage? If I remember, you were a baseball player prior to getting into business. Like that's where you left off high school, and you pretty much went right into high school into business. I mean, like that.
Pretty much, yeah. I played baseball my whole life, probably since I was like 5 or 6 years old up until I was actually 18, 19. I was playing in college a little bit. Quit college actually when I met you guys and kind of went on the journey of entrepreneurship. So it's kind of, it's not that different. It's like basically the harder you work, the more you get out of it. And I already had the work ethic from baseball, so it's like this isn't that much different.
115% true. For you guys who are competitive athletes, even if you're not, but if you're a competitive athlete or like me, a competitive board game player, take that competitive drive to the workforce. Find something that you are passionate about and then go out and win. I only got one big takeaway from all of college. So here, I'll sum up all of college for everyone who doesn't need to go.
It's
I
a
had
waste
one
of time.
professor say this. Find the thing that you could be the best in the world at and do that. It doesn't mean you're going to get there. It doesn't mean that you're some super savant at anything. Find the thing that you have a chance to be the best in the world at, that you have some passion for, and do that thing. That is the key to success. That has worked for me in all areas of my life. For me, trying to get this, it depends on how sold you are on your own goals.
Yes.
Our politics in Washington are ass.
Phenomenal.
I don't care on this channel. Caleb did it once. I'm going to do it once. Politics here suck. School districts are a breeding ground for that. My wife is a kindergarten teacher. We wanted to get her out of that in a 10-year period. 2020 came around. You all know what hit us in 2020. Politics got even weirder, and a 10-year goal became a 1-year goal. I'll tell you what. I was an employee for 8 years trying to be a real estate investor, picked up a couple of duplexes. The difference between that and me having 200 units was having a big enough why. I cared about getting my wife out of there. And then I realized there's other stuff in my life that I want. I want to live in a warmer state, in a state that agrees with my politics and my spiritual growth. It's hard to do a lot of that in Washington for me, especially when it's rainy and I'm a guy whose mood's affected by the weather. So
most depressing place on earth.
Once you learn how to care about your goals and you learn that you have the power to actually reach them a lot faster than you thought, you get them done. That is what I discovered. With mindset, that's it. There's no super secret. You don't need the Tony Robbins course on get and stay motivated. It's none of that.
It's not that deep. No, it's not that complicated. It's just what you want out of your life.
Sell yourself on your goals. Are your goals important to you? Now realize that you have the power to actually get there. And then prove it to yourself again and again and again and again and again and again. And that's what I did, and that's what Caleb did. He went, look, I'm 18. Can I buy real estate with $300? Apparently, yes. So he did it 4 more times. Sales company. You got a few things. You started your company. You helped me bring a few people into our community when you were a member. And you still are. But like when you were a newer member, you brought a few people and you were like, I'm really good at attracting people to great communities. You picked up a couple other communities and other courses, and you took good courses, and you went, hey, I can actually create a business out of this. And you started bringing
exactly
to communities that matter. You actually take the course, you do whatever the steps are, and you're like, hey, if this works, I'm going to sell the living daylights out of this. You prove to yourself that you can do it, and then you did it. Like, that's it for mindset. Set your mind on what your goal is, and then prove to yourself every freaking day that you can do it. I've watched you do it. I've done it. Cody's done it. There's a lot of people in our mentorship who do this consistently. That's how the game's played. I think that's the mental part. You mentioned something, though, that I want to touch on. You asked mental or like technical. What are the technical things that you do? Because I'm going to share my big one. My 90-day burn. I got a system for this thing. What do you do?
I mean, most recently for me was actually talking to your father-in-law about this, and he's the one who gave me the idea. Yeah, when we were I can't remember where we were, but we were talking about it, and his whole thing was he was a high level up at a big company. I won't start blabbering his story, but he was talking about how in the afternoon he used to go with brain fog, and I couldn't relate to anything more. I was getting this brain fog, and it was like right after lunch. I'm like, gosh, what's messing with me?
Yeah.
And he's like, I just cut out lunch. And I was like, so your brain fog just disappeared? He said, yeah. And I was like, yeah, okay. Sure, let's try it. And then tried it, and I've been doing it for 3 weeks now. Haven't had a lick of brain fog in the afternoons. And that adds, like, because there's different types of work, right? There's deep work and there's work. Adding more deep work into your day and like super productive, deep thought, that kind of work changes absolutely everything. Like you talk about getting to the next level, that is getting to the next level.
Yep. There's some physical things that you can do. Like I do not drink alcohol. None. I cut that out. Brain
I'm
fog.
actually not. I can't either. I am not legal enough. So
But personal preference. You guys you drink, but I did a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. I did cold plunges, saunas, stop drinking caffeine, stop drinking coffee. Right, that's the same thing. Stop drinking alcohol. And like a lot of my problems disappeared. Like my attention span increased, and so then I kept the things that I really liked. Like I love drinking coffee. In fact, I'm drinking coffee every time that you speak. As we're going, as soon as I'm off camera, I'm still doing caffeine because that one didn't affect me that much. Alcohol, I have more energy. I need less sleep. I feel better. I'm grasping concepts and moving forward in life faster. So like that one really worked for me. For you, intermittent fasting, big thing. And those are the health things. So they're super important. You keep those in line. And yeah, if you can get to those next level things, find the things that work for you. Helping on the physical end is going to be massive for you. Last thing we share is the 90-day burn.
yes,
I've done this multiple times. This level. Sometimes there's projects that have to happen, or there's a new level that you have to find to get to the next level in your business. For me, it was taking incomes from 100,000 to our first million a year, or it was buying, going from 4 units to 100 units. What's it going to take? Going from 1 employee to 15 employees. As you do these, you need to scale to new levels. What I have found works for me is I go through seasons where I go, okay, I can't go forever only working. Like it's super bad for you. So I narrow down to, hey, my hour-long workout, it's 30 minutes. I'm on a schedule for like, hey, I wake up, I think, I pray, read my Bible. It's on a schedule. Exactly when that is done, I go into the workday, I get through my meetings. All meetings that usually go half an hour, I cut them all to 15 minutes. So unless I absolutely have to, I will not attend a meeting that lasts more than 15 minutes. Because I am focused on whatever it is I'm focused on growing my business. When I started a call center company years ago, the focus was like, I got to hire 10 people. I got to get them dialed in. I got to develop these systems for 90 days. This is my baby. I got to keep this thing alive from outside of what we've already talked about. Prayer, Bible, and the 30 minutes that I limit myself to for physical activity. We're working. We're talking 14, 16, 18 hours a day. If I have to cut my sleep down by a couple hours to fit the next day's schedule in, I will do so. I have done that multiple times, and each time I've done it, we have gotten to our goal because that is what you think about. You wake up, you're grinding. You go to bed, you're grinding. You cannot sustain that forever. That will kill you. That is not a great way to live. You will have health consequences if you sustain that for too long a period of time. That being said, if you get into that state of hyperactivity, and I have found 90 days is not that painful. Like you can get through it and you're just going. You get to the end of it, you slow down, you get back into a normal schedule, and everything in your work feels so easy because you are used to operating at a higher level. I have done that countless times, and each time, again, that's how I took income from sub 100,000 to over 100,000 to over like the company's banging out $1 million. And we're trying to push those much, much, much further. But as we do those, we go into those seasons, and it works for me every single time. We call that the 90-day burn. That is a Christian special. I made that up in my living room, so that is not from anyone else's programs or strategies. The 90-day burn that's a solo Osgood strategy, or as Bigger Pockets now calls me, Osgreat. And if you too want to go from Osgood to Osgreat, the 90-day burn is the way to do it. Caleb, have you ever tried a hyper season like that? Because I know you just always work really hard. Have you ever tried a season where you just hyper lock in?
I think I'm kind of always locked in. To be completely honest with you, it's kind of like I like you have a lot more variables throughout your day. Like I feel like personally, my day doesn't have a ton of variables. Like obviously stuff comes up, but it's like for the most part, I know what I'm doing pretty much every second of every day. It's get up, read the Bible, pray for about I got like 30, 45 minutes for that. Eat breakfast, work all day until 5 to 6 o'clock, go play pickleball, come home, work again, go to sleep, wake up, repeat. And that's pretty much my life. Like you got meetings, some meetings sprinkled in there too. I feel like more lately I've even done that since I moved back home. When I was moved out for about 6 months, I moved back home for the last 3-4 months. It's kind of been that exact thing of, hey, I got to a new exact level. And now I'm moving to Texas soon, which I don't think we've shared a ton. Actually, November 2nd, I am driving out there. So living on site, the complex I bought. So it's kind of a new level. It's, hey, I'm going to get out of my comfort zone so much just to make sure I can get to that next level of, hey, like, don't know anybody here, super uncomfortable. And that's when you make the most progress, is when you are uncomfortable, you don't know anything around you. I like don't know anybody in that town. It's like, it's just going to be me. Well, I do know the guy who sold me the building, but that's about it. But it's just going to be a season of just, hey, this is probably going to suck, but it's just going to be just in hopes of getting to a new level.
In summary, the way to do this, to hit a new level, is one, you got to have the set pieces in your life. You have to be cared for spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Make sure you have some set pieces in there that we know work for you. Lock those things in. Keep them, just keep those in place. The next thing is you need to know your goal and why you're trying to get there. That goal and your why, you got to have those at the front of your mind. And they have to be big enough, and you have to be sold on, I can do this. Find consistent wins and repeat them again and again and again and again, always proving to yourself that you can hit it. And lastly, you need to identify what the next level is and then go out and freaking do it. Which is what you're doing. That's what works for me is the 90-day burn. For Caleb, for you, it's like, hey, for me to get to the next level, I need to change my environment. And
I think that's the most important thing for me, is like, it's just, you have your own house, you own your place where you live. I do not. Soon I will, because I'm living at my complex. But I do not own where I live. There's lots more variables in my life in that sense, and just owning and like controlling my environment to a T.
And speaking of getting to the next level, if you are watching this video and it is still before November 10th, 2023, we are hosting the Robinhood Village Resort Creative Finance event, which Caleb Hummel is going to do.
I will actually
Caleb
be speaking,
is our
yes.
keynote speaker.
I will be there.
But this particular conference is focused on creative finance and how to put all the creative pieces to actually hit those goals. So if you're looking for the path to the next level, you're stuck on the money part or the creative part of how you're going to get there, where are you going to find the opportunities, we're going to be sharing a lot on the mindset, the how, the math, the why, where do you find them. All of it is going to be covered at this event. You can grab a day pass on robinhoodvillageresort.com and go to the events page. We'd love to see you there. Love to see people from this channel in person. This is a great place to meet and grab some community with the people who contribute on this channel and in the multifamilystrategy.com network. Until then, we will see you there and see you on the next episode.